Welcome back to the NLC. It's going to be Singularity versus X7. It is the first place, well, second place versus the last place. What do you guys think about that?
It's gonna be, it's a tough journey for the sake of SNG. We were trying to sell Nuriki yesterday. We're gonna be trying to sell Singularity today. I think there is the chance that X7 might play a little with their food again, and hopefully
they might have fun?
Yeah, I think they might. So hopefully as Singularity, you're looking to punish a team that like to be cocky, but so far no one's really been able to shut them up. So I mean, they have the right to do so.
It was only one game. It was only one game that they brought weird stuff.
So I'm thinking right here, Tatooine, like, especially, I just don't remember off the top of my head if X7 is blue side or red side. I think if, do we know that?
I can check on my notes to tell you this.
Because I'm thinking that definitely you have to
red.
give the strong side to Tatooine, right? I think that Jaeger has played some strong sides, but then we've seen him on the on, so this is something that you could potentially abuse on the side lane and try to bleed the pressure through there. I think there's very little openings when it comes to playing against X7, and especially how aggressive they like to play their game. So maybe if you try to find your strongest pawn in the game and you put all the eggs in that basket, you could come out victorious.
But I know you want to talk, at least you have that face. But the thing is, they brought in Tatooine as we jump into the champion select. The last time we saw Tatooine, he was forced to play on the tank champ.
Yeah, I think he's going to be forced to play on the tank jump again because they're on both sides.
It's going to be interesting. Obviously, there are still a few blind picks you can go for. The problem is, once again, we mentioned it in the last champion select, blind picking top laners usually get punished a little bit unless you're going for
no
the
more Tom and Jerry.
style. Yeah.
Singh is not going to play anything that requires him to press E and W unless he wants to play Janna or Soraka at this point.
So taking away all these enchanters, you definitely want to take away the options of an hyper carry. So I wonder if they're following that trend and going to ban Thresh as the last one, just in case that, you know, he kind of does the same in terms of helping out these hyper AD carries, but they're just going to take away Thames Akali. They're worried about a third pick Akali going into the second ban phase as well, former. So interesting, very interesting. But Caitlyn, Diana, still up and available, so one power pick should go over to Team Germany.
Probably Caitlyn, yeah. You take Caitlyn out, Diana for Pope. But Pope is like, we're just not, yeah, exactly. We're just not used to seeing Pope play the more aggressive junglers in the game. He plays more the types of Graves, the types of Carthus, something that chills back, carries. And this is something that bothers me on the side of Singularity because it creates a slow pace, which means that the opponent team has the opening to engage on you, and now that you've left Diana open, it's like the easiest bundle up with the Yasuo into a Victor as well that's immobile. Windwall works with his laser as well.
The thing is, we can even get Renekton in 3 here, and you can ban out Renekton counters. Nope, they're just going to pick a Sion here instead. It's interesting, they're just picking up these solo laners immediately, but with the Jhin here as well. Okay, interesting, very, very interesting. Right now, you don't have that consistent damage.
I was about to say, you're missing a carry here, mate.
Obviously, that can still come from a jungler, but blind picking this Victor, there's already a lot of pressure on Muta. As soon as you hit level 6 on that Yasuo and Diana, you're going to be under a lot of pressure.
Here it is. Graves, Kindred are the two consistent damage AD carries that I can think of that could go in the jungle that feed Pope's playstyle so far. Something that chills back, farms, comes later on, hyper carries. We saw Graves as well in the hands of Obista, did great in the jungle. You're chilling even more because you don't necessarily have to play the laning phase, you're just clearing your camps. Now, not that I necessarily agree with that because, again, it slows down the pace of the game because you've got a tank top, you've got a Victor in the mid lane. So if you want to play towards this, the Jhin, you can, but we don't necessarily see too much. On the other side, it's like all in. The Gwen, the Diana, the Yasuo. I just love the composition so far from X7.
Yeah, so what we're going to be expecting is definitely Singularity, funnily enough, taking away some of the bot laners instead. They lack a bot lane right now. You could argue that Yasuo could be flex bot, but let's assume for the sake of Diana being there, he's not. So it looks like they're going to take away some of the support champion pool, which is quite interesting because right now you're lacking the support yourself, so banning away the support is actually taking away some of the picks for yourself. But honestly, taking away the Nautilus is not a bad shout. You have a mobile AD carry, you have a mobile mid laner, you don't want to set up Yasuo as well with a roam like that because we've seen Matt Lyons do it in the LEC just this weekend as well.
Yeah, and I was wondering if they were going to take away the Braum as well because Braum is another pick that sets up really easily for Yasuo too, unless they want to go for something a little bit more for face forward, which is something like a Leona to set up and then go in with a Diana as well. So far, 3 out of 4 bans have been targeted towards Kasing. 4 out of 5 bans have been towards Kasing.
Kasing is getting counterpick either way. Enemies already picked their AD carry. You can just pick your AD carry on 4th, save the counterpick for the support on 5, but looks like they just want to secure that hyper carry or hyper support in Thresh. I actually completely went under the radar with this one. I'm so used to him to either be picked or banned when we enter the second phase here. So obviously taking away this now is super fine, because if you could have Thresh on Singularity side, they'd probably be super happy about that. It's also a comfort pick for Jeppe, but it's already setting up a Jinx and an Aphelios down in the bot lane if you just want to chill against that. Free scale against the Yin.
The only thing I could think of here that can beat the Thresh in lane and potentially whatever else comes through.
What?
The hyper
Okay.
Hyper carry.
That's a solo queue classic. That's a solo queue classic. Taric and Master Yi is like, usually you do a funnel strat with it. It's probably not going to be the case here, but that's still something where you're looking to cause a lot of damage in the mid game. And right now, all these champions are super good for Master Yi because there's no instant CC.
You know what?
What's up?
Hope is my favorite jungler.
I mean, he's not my favorite jungler. If he manages to pull this off, he will probably be one of my favorites.
Against like 7.
Yes.
Nonetheless, yeah.
Yes, but actually these champions are super good to play in if you're Master Yi. Like, if you just get a few kills, or even if you just go even and have like 2-3 items in mid game, you can definitely be facilitated here. Taric is a great pick into the composition too.
Now, problem is, you have priority through the Victor in the mid lane. Your top lane is going to get quite punished, and probably so is your bot lane, because they're playing Draven into a Jhin, and that's extremely aggressive. You need to play around the priority that Mutter is going to create for you, because Master Yi doesn't necessarily create too much tension in the early game. It's just about...
No tension.
He creates no tension at all. It's pretty much farms through the entire game and hyper carries in the lane, which again feeds Pulp so much. I'm like, this Graves, this Kindred, these two, you know, ranged AD carries, scale well into the lake. I never thought of the Master Yi, man.
As long as Jeppe doesn't end this game on the Taric as well, so bot lane doesn't get completely behind to the Draven, and he can come out and roam with the Master Yi, then you have your game plan going. But if he's kept in lane, or you're going to be having a rough time then.
This is an exciting champion select. Master Yi and Taric, one of the things that I insta-dodge on solo queue.
Oh yeah.
Viper Rune, if you don't get this one with excitement, if you don't pick this one with excitement, you're going to get on Smurf's queue. You know it. How are you doing, Viper Rune?
It's bad, right? Like, I've got Nightmare in my DMs explaining why Singularity have done well in this draft, but Henning, I just can't see it.
I mean, I don't know at this point. This is just a bit too crazy. The NLC, what sort of a league is this? We get Vladimir and Zed in the first game, and then Sarath, and now we got the Master Yi Taric in the third one. I mean, this league is just a bit too entertaining. I don't even know what to say. Like, it's probably not that good, honestly, but it sure is exciting to watch.
I mean, we haven't even talked about the Draven that much. That was final pick here from X7, just because, I mean, okay, first things first, I'm glad that they haven't put the Taric top to funnel the Master Yi, because funnel is lame. I want to go on record, funnel's not fun. Don't do it.
Why is there fun in funnel?
I don't know.
Huh?
I couldn't tell you why there's fun in funnel. Well, okay, so this is the logic here, and I've opened the Book of Nightmare and I'm reading from it verbatim now. Is that the idea here is that going up against X7 and playing a traditional game of League of Legends against them has provably not worked for anyone in this league yet, including JTXL. So they're looking to do something a little bit different and maybe catch X7 off guard, which is kind of giving a kind of play something early, catch them out, maybe grab a couple of kills and then snowball off that. Maybe Singularity or anyone's best opportunity to give X7 a really good game. My counterpoint to that is that Nariki gave X7 a very good game on Monday, playing traditional League of Legends. So I'm not entirely sure. But do you know what? Let's just stream here. What does Singularity need to be doing in these early stages in order for them to go into mid game in a position that we'd be happy seeing?
Sion getting XP off the first minions, I think, is a pretty good first step. But he's not kind of getting any XP here. He's getting so hard punished by Jaeger.
Stop, dude.
That's a bully right there.
Well, I mean, this is also the double-edged sword of picking your solo laner so early, is it gave X7 a lot of license to just counterpick and to have the opportunity to say, we know what you're playing in solo lanes before we're picking ours, therefore we're going to be grabbing the Yasuo in first rotation with the Diana, which we know is super good. We're picking the Gwen into Sion, which we're confident in. I would have been interested to see the Sion go bot, potentially, and then for something else to go into that top lane. Not a Taric, not funneling, Singularity, no. But, you know, I'm just
look at this Sion,
wondering...
0 CS. Like, he's nice. I don't think he's got like any XP. This is insane. I've never seen the top lane getting this hard punished early.
I'm hopeful that it's a tank as well, so if they're going for not the damage Sion who can go down and then keep punching, but just is going more traditional tanky route, which would make sense considering you've got the Master Yi who's going to be doing a lot of damage, the Victor and Jhin as well, then you don't necessarily need to be grabbing so much farm because you're going to be building tanky and it's not that important. Plus, Sion gets naturally tanky when minions die near him, so it's not good at all, but it's better than on a lot of other champions. I'm going to see where action is going to kick off immediately, because Haru's level 4 has just hit onto that scuttle. Of course, Porp has hit level 4 himself. Master Yi has a decent early clear, but Haru might be looking towards diving this top lane, but rather is just checking things out. Nothing to steal, so he's going to go back.
Yeah, Sion is a bit hard to dive, and even if you do pull it off, his passive's going to be able to pick up most of the wave anyway, so I think it's a good choice to not go too hard of that. And yes, I have to agree with you as well on the Sion tankiness. I mean, he's going to be pretty useful even if he's behind in farm. He's going to be losing the 1v1 with Jaeger, but he's still going to be like, useful in the team fight. He's going to be standing in front of his carries, tanking it up. Speaking of carries though, Pop is looking for something here.
I like this. To be fair, Pop is trying to hope that Jaeger's going to overextend. Remember, he has no flash either, so he's got the Ignite teleport. But Jaeger is able to skip away from that one. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, will the bot lane from the Singularity be able to do the same? Yepe's being called out and will go down for first blood. And really nice play from Kazing to keep Speggy in the fight. But Spike is going to be able to walk away from that one. Heal, flash, burn, and exhaust. But in the mid lane, it's going to be an exchange as an aggressive play from Tempt ends in both mid laners dead.
Yeah, that was a really nice play. Firstly in the bottom lane by Kazing getting the Lantern and then flashing while Haru was taking the Lantern and getting that final hook onto Spike, almost setting up the play. Let's take a look at the 1v1 here in the middle, and we can see Muter getting pretty low before this fight even starts, and he's also kind of low on mana, tanks up all the CC, actually uses the flash as well, and oh, Tempt, I guess he goes back in for this. Wow, this is pretty cocky by Tempt here, but he does want to go for the 1v1 and uses the flash to get the 1v1. Not sure how good that was. Yes, Muter missed some CS, so guess that's all right. But you're also, by trading 1-for-1, you're accelerating Victor towards his first upgrade on his abilities, like giving 25 stacks with that one kill. So not sure if that was a great play by Tempt, but I guess it's also about establishing dominance, right?
Yeah, real asserting dominance in the mid lane. Singularity first ones to the Dragon, so we'll be able to secure this one pretty speedily. Chemtech first one down as Tempt is continuing to fight Muter and to cut him low, but members of Singularity were at the Dragon, so they're already in the neighborhood. Tempt, he's gonna have to dive away, could get stunned up, but nice dodge and he'll be able to slide through the minion wave to potentially get away. Porp is also there, and you can see the Taric Master Yi combination so prevalent, so strong a couple of seasons ago. It's already starting to move around as a duo to get things done. I'm a little bit worried about Spike, though, on the Jhin. Not necessarily someone you want to leave on their own in a side lane, because, yeah, you can kind of farm safely, but also it's not the easiest thing, and it's very easy to dive. Speaking of dives, Haru's thinking about just that in the mid lane. Muta has just hit 6, but members of both teams are here. Kazing's here with the Lantern to allow for Haru to get away, but Tempt's going to go low. He's actually going to fall, and the damage coming through is big. Port might have an opportunity, but Haru gets the Crescent Slash down for the double. And X7 doing pretty well. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Nata is 1v2 on the Draven, trying to juggle those axes, but I don't think he'll be able to get through. It's Yepe who punches through for the kill. A decent amount of power sustained coming through from this tag pick even early on.
A lot of things to unpack there. First of all, Nathan not using the flash there. I think if he flashes the Taric stun, he potentially gets away, although Jeppe could just flash after him, so not entirely sure about that. Also looking towards the mid lane, I think if Pop is level 6 there, he gets a triple kill. Like, if he gets the has the ulti and then gets the reset on off his Q, he can Q again, kill Haru, and then it's a 1v1 with Kasing. Like, that was actually pretty close, so starting to show a bit of the power of this Master Yi pick. I mean, it's still obviously not a good pick. Like, if he gets hit by one skill shot, he's pretty much dead. Like, if he gets hit by any CC, he just dies. That's like my assessment at this moment. But if it does not, if he's able to use his Q and W smarter to be able to get away from things, I mean, he can start to pop off, and he's going towards the top lane here.
Oh, Jaeger actually going to be able to 2v1, potentially going in towards Pop, trying to get as much damage done as possible, but nice play coming through from Pop. Will get the kill on a sliver of health. The Charm keeps him alive, and that was real edge of the cliff stuff, but Singularity managed to make it work this time around, and X7 go aggressively into their jungle to grab away Krugs. Not just going to be giving away those plates, and will speed away from Jeppe, who's trying to get a re-engage going, but kills all tied up here at the 8-minute mark. Gold lead, almost 2,000 in the back pocket of X7 at the moment, as Muta once again in mid lane could be in a massive amount of trouble, and just Diana Yasuo things, really.
Yeah, the amount of counterplay there for Muter is not that high. Diana ulti lands and then Yasuo ulti just follows up. Not really anything you can do. Smarter though from Pop to get the Herald while that is going on, so that is a good set of objectives actually going over to this Master Yi. Yes, he is behind in the farming department, but one Dragon, one Herald, and he's also obviously playing a scaling champion, so see what he can do here. With this Herald, I mean, you're going to be getting an injection of gold for this Master Yi, and he is a carry champion, so if he can get going, could be pretty strong. Also looking towards the items here, I was sort of expecting the Duskblade Master Yi, not saying that I've seen a ton of this champion being picked in competitive, but it is going to be going towards the Noon Quiver, so more of a on-hit build rather than a lethality burst build here.
Well, it's good to see Singularity definitely taking the fight to X7. Nada actually might be in a lot of trouble here. It's a 3v2 because Pop's moving through. They're going to go invulnerable. The curtain has been called, and Kasing is going to have to tank up a few of these shots, but should be okay to take all 4, as he was full health when the barrels were unloaded. Singularity, another proactive play. This time around, don't gain anything from it. But this is kind of what we wanted to see. We wanted to see them being active early, and while Pop might not have gotten kills just yet, the objectives are going down, and you can see the Rift Herald has been dropped pretty early in the bot lane, something that we don't necessarily see too often. But now Kasing is going to move forward. You've got Haru and Tempt moving on down as well. The Rift Herald is just going to be left standing as they want to get the engage. Nice flash from Taric means that Jeppe will be able to step away. The Singularity, they're still falling, they're kind of leaking drop by drop that gold advantage as X7 keep gaining more and more. But they're definitely not going down without a fight.
I mean, I'm honestly pretty impressed by Singularity. This is better than I was expecting. I was thinking they were just going to get rolled over early, and while they are sort of getting rolled pretty much across the board, there's a 20 CS lead for X7 in every lane, including the jungle where there's a 30 CS lead. Speaking of jungle, Haru's going to one-shot Spike here. If he walks up, he does not. But getting back to my point there, it's not like S&G are just taking the beating from X7 and not doing anything about it. They're taking the beating, yes, but they're also hitting them back, and they're doing so quite well.
They are when it comes to fighting, absolutely, and Jaeger might be the next victim of that. Diving away from the audience pretty clean, but he's going to get stunned up. Porps there as well, and that's the first kill going over to the Master Yi. Singularity moving as a pack will be able to grab that one. Dragon will be the exchange though, as X7 grab their first. Mountain early is not too impactful. We'll have to see what soul it's going to be. And it's going to be another Ocean. So a run back from the previous game as Tempt thinks about going in on Muter again.
Ooh, I think Pop wishes he had saved that Herald, because they were 3 people alone up in the top lane there, and with the Master Yi, with the ulti after getting the kill, he gets the extended duration of that, would have been able to do a lot of damage, perhaps even kill the tower. But no Herald for him. Instead, it chooses to steal away the top side of the map. Then Haru just counters on the bottom side. Spike might be out of position.
Yeah, he's going to just get assassinated. Not the one shot, though. The burn does come through as Haru takes a couple of tower shots on the way out. But that's the power of the Diana. You've got 4 kills, and Haru in a very, very strong position right now.
Yeah, he's starting to get pretty dang fed on this Diana. 99 CS here, 30 up on his jungle counterpart, 4 kills. And it's not even really an early game champion. I mean, this is sort of the time in the game where he starts to get going. And you can see how strong the proto belt is as well for her when it comes to just getting all of the damage down and being able to gap close in these trades. So Haru playing really well so far, and it's not going to get easier for Singularity to play against this Diana when he starts to combo with the Yasuo.
Absolutely, we've already seen it once, and when you get in a bigger team fight setting, things will be problematic, especially when you've got the likes of the Master Yi. If you're not dodging away from that Diana ultimate, you're getting one comboed, and Tempted in mid lane does need to be careful as multiple members turning up from Singularity once again, and this moving around this death squad of Yepe and Porp have been seeing some success, especially in that top lane where Tattoo's managed to find his way back into the game after a very slow start, with Jaeger being an absolute bully up in the top side. But while it's been effective in terms of grabbing a couple of kills, in terms of gold, it's still growing 3,500 now before the 14-minute mark, and X7 are just gaining advantages across the board. If we can see gold very quickly, I'd like to see how much of that's on the Draven. Because of the passive, of course, yeah, 1,800 gold in the pocket of Nata over Spike, which accounts for a decent amount of it, but it's just kind of looking at it, it just leads across the board. Yeah.
Haru's really, really strong at this moment. Already got the stopwatch going forward. And there's the Kraken Slayer getting finished by Pop, so he's going to go for a big on-hit build, perhaps against his Rage Blade, and yes, that's going to be very strong once you're up to like 3-4 items, but before that, it's going to take a long time for Pop to scale up, and looking at how aggressively X7 are playing and how big their lead is, I don't think Singularity is going to have that time. I don't think Pop's going to have the time to scale up, but he's going to try, and yeah, if this game goes really late, it's going to be very strong for them with the Master Yi scaling and with the Victor scaling as well, but before that, it's going to be pretty difficult for them.
Tempted's diving in and out, but a lot of damage coming through from Muta. The ultimate's going to be burnt, and the Yasuo has to walk away. Tempt actually, in this lane where he had the counter pick, remember, hasn't been having the best time. Up in farm, certainly, and did get that 1 kill under tower, but has been struggling a little bit. Muta, of course, the Singularity player that we've been talking the most positively about so far this season. As Haru maybe looking for an engage onto 2, will be able to grab onto Yepe, but he's going to go indestructible for a couple of moments. Going to go golden as well to keep that running even further. But now Pop needs to be careful. He's got the Highlander pop in. But X7 come and knock in. They're looking to get the damage down onto this Master Yi, forcing the flash away. His Tattoo on the other side jumps towards Jaeger, but he's immune from CC as the X7 turn around to join him on the Scion. Muta there as well, though. And X7 can't find anything. A couple of members left to take down the Rift Herald, and the rest move back upriver.
Yeah, we'll be able to secure this in the pocket of Haru. It's going to go, and that is going to be an even stronger gold lead. Singularity might try to contest it. Here we go for a fight.
Although Tattoo trying to get the ultimate off, but we'll just get hook glide and sinkered by Kasing. Jaeger in the backline is keeping everyone else out, and Hassan's cut down. Porp goes the same way. And Singularity maybe they need to try and contest that objective, lose 2 and the eye. And that's a lot of damage going the way of X7.
Yeah, absolutely. Being able to get those kills as well, and you can see the Scion being the hope to have a big frontliner who's going to be able to tank this up, and there are no really great tank killing champions on X7, but I think they're just so far ahead that they will be able to chew through this Scion. He's not going to be that big. I guess if you're able to stack the armor, Yasuo and Draven's going to have a tough time, but then there's also the Diana and the Gwen that you're going to be fighting in the 1v1, so it's also a very hard game to itemize in if you are Tattoo right here.
X7 moving up towards the top side. Ooh. Nice hook in from Kasing once again. Laser-sighted, heat-seeking hooks this game from Kasing. As he picks up another higher on the bot side, will solo take down the third dragon of the game. Second for his team. And the first Ocean that we've seen in this game. Of course, we had the Soul last game, which proved to be very pivotal for M&M Gaming. But Muta needs to be careful about stepping into the jungle, because while the Victor is strong, the Diana is certainly strong too.
Absolutely. And speaking of the Souls, don't think this is a great game for an Ocean Soul. These are not poke teams. These You could say they're split pushing teams, but these are most of the teams where I'm thinking that the fight is going to be over in 2 seconds. And speaking of a fight being over very quickly, Kasing with a clutch Thresh play, and he's been doing really well so far. One of the stronger support players in this league, perhaps the strongest support player in my opinion, been really performing well as Thresh this game, getting the Lantern Flash earlier on in the bottom lane, and now the Flash Hook there in the top lane. Definitely more impressive than he was playing Yuumi.
Well, I mean, the Yuumi game was good, but also how impressive can you look on Yuumi? I guess
it's hard to judge, right?
You're just chilling, just having a good time, but X7 moving in towards the mid tower, just trying to grab away Muta's safety net and really pile the pain down onto Singularity. The gold lead is coming up to 8,000 gold now as Nata just going to send those whirling blades up to clear out the wave. And you've got a feel for Spike up here, right? Because he's really... the way that Singularity have played this game has not really considered a Jhin at all.
Yeah. He's been playing weak side the entire game. Like, the Tarvik's been roaming. He's been forced to pick his champion before the Draven, so he got counterpicked there. And he's been pretty much playing 1v2, 1v3, even with Haru coming in to dive him in the bottom side. So with that in mind, Spike being 30 CS behind is not that bad. I mean, it's not him playing bad. It's just his team leaving him alone on this Jhin and trying to play around the Master Yi instead. It's just that it's not really been working out for Singularity.
He's 60 farmed. Pauper's 60 farmed down in a team where you've kind of...
Wow.
You have to warp the draft around the Master Yi, right? And we're seeing a team fight coming on through here, and Tattoo just going to be deleted. The rest of Singularity stepping forward, but I think we might have done a little bit of a time travel there on our screens as snap back to reality.
Or
do you know what? I think it was a little bit of foreshadowing, because I reckon with the teams in this kind of position, we might be about to see that team fight as we're seeing a snipe come on through as X7 step on back. Singularity again moving as a group up towards Spike this time around so that Jhin can get involved. But X7, they haven't even got Jaeger here. Of course, the teleport is available for the Gwen if they want to take a 5v5, but X7 happy just to step forward and take down the mid tower if they possibly can. It looks like the foreshadowing was not the case this time around as X7 grab themselves another objective. It's a Doctor Strange level, isn't it? It's a, this is one of a million scenarios as Tattoo going to be taken pretty low and Haru comes on forward. He gets the ultimate down, but I think we all know how this one ends as Tattoo flashes over the wall. The teleport coming up through from Jaeger though, as Singularity really want to press this fight. Nice knock-up coming on through on to Jaeger. But I think Tattoo is going to be cut down. The ultimate will be enough as X7 pick up another victim. Singularity looking to press forward, but they're running in blind. And they're running into members of X7. A lot of damage coming up through from Pop, but he doesn't manage to get a single ultimate. Nice one from Tempt to dodge away from Mutazol as he stays alive. Longer and longer will eventually fall, but I think the whole of Singularity will go with him. Yeppy under tower can't find a way out for Muta though, as it's a 4-for-1 exchange. X7 run towards the Baron.
What a Yasuo play there from Tempt, getting the wind wall and then kiting around that wind wall very, very well, getting out so much damage in that fight, and they are going to be rewarded with a very early Baron, a 10k gold lead as well for X7. I think that was like the last chance, the last stand for Singularity, going for the big fight. I like that they're trying to make something happen, but at this point, this is like 1 in a million if they're going to be winning this game.
I don't think Singularity put themselves in the best position in this game, and the early game was good aggressively, but the quality of X7 is showing through, right? And I think this is something that must be noted, that this X7 draft, actually I'm going to have to hold that point as Haru has to dive away from Yeppe as members of Singularity coming up through, but the rest of X7 is turning up. Nice triple knockout from Tattoo as the curtain is cool, but the damage going through is massive. Shutdown for Pop on it to Temp before he is finally removed, and Singularity, they might have found one, but that's all she wrote for them. Actually, Nata needs to be a little bit careful running on forward, gets the stand aside, needs to be careful about Spike, but the fourth shot does absolutely nothing. Muta stepping forward to make sure that the chase is only going to be a short one, as X7 take another fight.
I'm really feeling for Muta right now. I think he played really well in Monday when he was on the Syndra. He he really performed. Now on the Victor, he's been doing a good job. Like, we see how good Tempt is on Yasuo, and he's been going toe-to-toe with him in the laning phase. And then he's like sitting down in the bottom lane farming, and his team just runs in 3v5 in the enemy jungle, dies immediately, and he's like, yeah, there's not too much I can do right here. Mute or not, I wouldn't want to be in his shoes right here.
I wouldn't either, but Porp is moving forward once again, looking towards Haru. But he's going to find Nata instead, who 1-2. Can't find the third auto, but will dodge away from the slow field. Muta hanging around in that bush. Haru is there, but members of Singularity, it's 2v5 with the ultimate available. Proto belt for Haru to gain some distance, and resources being burnt to not catch Diana. Remember, this is the day that he almost caught Captain Haru as he moves back into the jungle, playing bait as he knows that his team is following through. Nata spinning those axes, running as fast as his legs will carry him, but can't find anything there. But it's fascinating to see this matchup and how X7 are confidently moving from play to play, looking for every opportunity to take advantage, and Singularity, just through force of numbers in most situations, still in this game.
Yeah, when you secure the Baron this early, it was Jeppus is going to get one shot.
Yeah, yeah.
Not too much
you can continue with your
down
analysis,
there.
like...
Yeah, I was going to say that when you get Baron this early and you're up against a team with only one real wave clearing champion, at least who can wave clear from far range, which is the Victor, it's really hard to do something about it. I mean, X7 don't really have the best comp to dive with. They don't really need to. They can just push the waves with a Baron buff, and there's not really much that Singularity can do. Yes, X7 are so far ahead that they could probably go for the dives anyway if they wanted to, but they can just push the waves, and Singularity, yeah, Victor Laser is pretty good at clearing the waves, but with the Baron minions, and if that's your only tool, like X7 is going to get 2 free inhibs at 24 minutes.
24 minutes, 2 inhibs down, X7. Kasing, though, called out, the last one recalling, and members of Singularity are moving towards him. Kasing, he hasn't got his dancing shoes on this time around, puts up the box, but it's just going to be a coffin for him as he gets taken down. Pop securing the kill. First death for Kasing this game, though. 0-1-13, great performance, but Singularity, I don't know if there's a way back into this game for them. Obviously, they've still got a Nexus, so there is always hope. But X7, this is what I was going to say. You saw their draft against the Ricky. I think the Alex Des talked about it, and they talked about it in the interview, how X7 were maybe like, oh, we're going to have a little bit of fun with this. This draft is not about fun. This is a very competent, we're going to win this game, and we're going to do so quickly draft. And it almost looks like Singularity's gone in the other direction, going for something a little bit crazy. And X7 are just showing a lot of respect, moving lane to lane, taking out everything that they can. Another fight might be in the offing, though. This could be Singularity's last chance, as the ultimate from Tarek could be massive as damage coming on through. Natra on the side gets called out by Muta. I remember the damage is there, but Tempt and Haru just rip through Singularity. Members are removed left, right, and center. Everyone from X7 stands strong as they cut down Spike. Muta, last one standing. And Kasing wasn't even invited to that fight. He's going to wander in now on the fresh, but the rest of the team wanders into Singularity's base, clearing out waves, finding ways for the Super Minions to come on through. Muta is going to do his darndest to keep this game alive, but with 5 moments of X7 bearing down on him with 2 Super Minion up waves, I don't think there's anything he can do.
It's looking pretty grim for Muta right here. I mean, the final fight there was pretty sad for Singularity. Honestly, they're building their entire team around Path being able to get this Taric Z combo, having a Master Yi like free hitting for like 3, 4, 5 seconds in the back line, and then he just dies without doing any damage. They were just too far behind, honestly. There's nothing they could really do at that point. But hats off to X7, really showing us that they're probably the strongest team, or at least one of the strongest teams in the league right now.
X7 remain undefeated, of course, going up against Singularity, potentially something that we expected going into this game. I don't know if anyone predicted that the way that these drafts were going to go, but I'm going to be fascinated to hear from both of these teams when they get interviewed in a couple of minutes' time. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a few.